And we back with another one. Urban Neural Platforms. Everybody, Daniel on Instagram. How we doing? 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 Hope you're doing great. I'm doing well. Now, I know it's been a while. Uh, I was on the trip, as you guys know. I had things scheduled out, and as they were releasing, I was planning on my next things. My end of the year list, all that. And I finally get back, and I got sick, like real sick. It's that time of year. So I'm back though. I'm feeling way better, and I am excited to give you guys these end of the year lists and to plan ahead for 2026. Happy New Year to y'all all. Happy holidays to you all. I hope that you guys had a blessed, safe holidays, and I'm excited for what this year has to bring for all of us. Now, time to get into some of the negative stuff. Now, you may or may not know, but I was recommended McKinley Dixon as I was editing. I played some stuff in the background on my YouTube, right? So McKinley Dixon reaction will be out soon, either today or tomorrow. Unfortunately, I kept getting recommended the same thing over and over again, and it's people talking about Adin Ross and Doechii, and it's depressing to say the least. It's depressing, and I'm sick of it. And I'm not gonna give a whole take and reiteration of what happened because everybody's been talking about it already. I'm sure you've already seen that. But what I do want to talk about is how this is a symptom of something that's been going on within the internet's hip hop discourse for like the past 6 to 7 years. Now, you may or may not know who Adin Ross is because I have a pretty diverse, age range of people that watch me. So if you don't know, he's a streamer, a white boy. He likes to talk a lot of shit about Doechii. We've already seen the beef or whatever, right? The thing about it is he tries to mask his visceral hatred towards her with it just being about the umbrella clip from the Grammys or the Met Gala. I think it was the Met Gala when she was acting like an asshole towards the workers. And I think that is something to be upset about. I think that's a valid thing to not like. Now, did it make me think, oh, she's a dirty whore, she's a bitch, she's an industry plant, she's this and the third? No, it didn't. Because I don't hate black women. Like, here's the thing. He's done the same thing with Meg Thee Stallion. He consistently has this going on. Adin Ross, dudes like him, dudes like XQC, even people like Lacey is Live, these are all streamer people. These are all Caucasian people that have a fan base that uses them and their voices to launch pad anti black woman rhetoric to a lesser detriment to things that are not as important. That they're also used for is just having really ignorant takes in hip hop in general, ignorant conversations about things that are not inside of their culture in general. Even with the FaZe Clan thing that just happened. If you guys don't know who FaZe Clan is, they're an internet group on Twitch or whatever, right? FaZe Banks, he's called out for saying the N word. Why do you feel like as a white man, Adin Ross, you are the person to say, oh, it's okay, bro, like it's real, everybody says it, like you aren't even saying it in a racist way, bro, like you're good, bro, it's just him being real, like I love, like it's stuff like that that we consistently have to deal with, and it makes me wonder, is like casual hip hop discourse dead? Like, is that something that just doesn't, exist on the internet anymore? Because there's too many people that are on the edge of hip hop that don't really love hip hop. There's too many people on the edge of music that don't really love music but are always talking about music. What I mean by that is like music takes up so much space on the internet, it takes up so much space in life in general. And there's plenty of people who dive deep into it, who love it, who have nuanced takes, perspectives, and interests within the field that they are discussing, right? But there's also a lot of people that are just on the outskirts of it because it exists to such a huge, audience. It takes up so much space that there's gonna be people on the outside that barely interact with it on a day-to-day basis, that barely have care within it on a day-to-day basis. They have enough familiarity with it for them to consistently give out these takes and to give out these statements. And unfortunately, these people that don't love it but still like to interact with it because it's something to do, because it makes them feel smart, because it helps them, cope with whatever they're coping with. You know what I'm saying? Like, for a big example was with the Drake Kendrick beef. A lot of the Drake fans only like Drake because it finally gives them a chance to win at something. That kind of demographic. They have a safe haven within people like Adin, XQC, even DJ Academics, because they know that there is a place for them to get off these really, really nasty ideals. Really, really nasty ideals. And it's not through the base of loving rap, it's through the base of hating things that exist within it. And one of those things are the existence of successful black women, especially dark skinned black women. And a big example of that is Doechii. And what sucks about it is I'm not even a huge Doechii fan, but now I don't feel comfortable critiquing her the way that I would like to, because I don't like adding to the pile. I don't like adding to the fire, because there's such an easy, simple way to talk about these people, but there's it's become more of a boost within numbers, more of a boost within fan bases, if you slander, if you shit on her, if you're the most unempathetic person ever when it comes to talking about her, and it sucks that has become so profitable. I remember where there was a time where you could just disagree with someone, where you could just dislike an artist for this, that, and the third, and it could be that. But nowadays, it feels like you have to buy into their identity wholeheartedly, or you have to hate their identity wholeheartedly, and there can't be no in between. And it's never just about the artist anymore. It's always about what they represent or what they are pushing out. And with Doechii, she's pushing out a lot of confidence and a lot of joy for black women. And there's a group of people that hate that are disgusted with that, because as we know, black women are the most hated and unprotected in the country. So when you have a random white boy Jewish guy, Adin, who's claiming that he hates her because of how she treated workers with the umbrellas or whatever, but then you team up with a known PDF file, Tekashi 69, and you had nothing to say about 21 Savage when he played in your face and tried to scam you, when Playboi Carti did play in your face and scam you, when Kanye slandered your entire culture. You didn't have none of that visceral energy for none of that. I talked about that in my other Adin and Doechii video. When you had nothing to say about that, but you have all the bitches and whores to call her, who is the real bitch? Is it this girl who might be annoying, who might be an asshole to people, and I don't condone any of that? Or is it you, the person who doesn't know how to deal with confrontation, unless it is somebody who is female and black and isn't gonna be as protected as the street dude or the super genius or a random freaking vampire boy? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Well, I do get it. I don't get how you could see it as anything other than racism and misogyny. If it's not racism and misogyny, what is it then? If it's not the hatred towards black women, then what is it? Because he's only been like this when it comes to people like her or people who are in defense of her. It's never been anyone else. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's just me. That's how I feel about that specifically. Um, and I do not like that we're giving a safe haven for these people who think like that. And it's really scary. It's really weird. It's really spooky. And it doesn't have to be this way. And the further point I want to make is that it is okay to be critical of Doechii. It is okay to not like Doechii. It is okay to be like, I didn't like the way she did it with the umbrellas. I think she's disingenuous. I think she might be an industry weird person. Like, you could say this industry plant thing too. You could say all that stuff. But there's so much disingenuous conversation around it that I don't even like interacting with it in the way that I truly want to. Because I do have my critiques of Doechii. I do think that it's weird that her album won Album of the Year within that stacked list, and that it's like the only album she has that's available on DSPs. I think that's questionable. I do think it's questionable for her to skyrocket, at the time she did. I do think it's okay to question how she's being so seen all of a sudden, and what was like the hit song that got her there, because there doesn't seem to be a good one. Because let's be real, Anxiety, it's not a good sounding song. It does sound bad, but I don't like this sentiment of she stole the song because she sampled it. I don't like the sentiment of, oh, how did she get access to this song? She's a thief. When everyone else does it, it's nothing, but when she does it, it's a whole thing. If you don't like the song, just say you don't like the song. Don't try to make it into 100 million different things that it's not. You know what I mean? You could just say it's a bad song. I'm okay with saying that. You could also say that you don't think her album deserved album of the year for the Grammys. I'm okay with you saying that. I also think it's super easy to give her credit with a lot of stuff too, and we don't want to do that either because again, that would require nuance. That would require being articulate, and these people that we push to the top don't have a single articulate bone in their body. All they have is hate, clout, and insincerity. That's all they have, and we keep letting it ride because it feeds onto each other. The hatred feeds into more hatred and it builds into fan bases. When you build your audience on that, how are we supposed to look at you? You feel me? Casual hip hop discourse to me is dead. I feel like it's almost impossible to be a casual within that space now because you're gonna have to deal with so many different nasty mindsets and narratives and agendas being pushed. And no one could just take something for what it is and give an opinion on something for what it is. And no one can explain themselves anymore. No one can explain why they feel a certain way about something and what is opinion and what is fact. And there's been the overuse of buzzwords like industry plant. Like, it's okay to question her rise, I get it, but the term industry plant is so overused and people don't even really know what it means anymore. Because to be honest, I don't think there's an objective definition of what an industry plant really is. If Doechii's an industry plant, is Baby Keem also an industry plant? Or it was Tommy Richmond an industry plant? Was Sabrina Carpenter industry plant? Olivia Rodrigo, fucking Big X the Plug, like who, like these names that we just hear out of nowhere and all of a sudden we're hearing them all over and over and over. Are those industry plants or do you just not know about them because you don't listen to music? You don't like rap. Why are people who don't listen to rap saying this term all the time? Why is Stable Ronaldo going on streams talking about, I don't know why it's so hard for her to admit she's an industry plant. You don't even know what TDE is. Like, we're letting people who don't know what Top Dog Entertainment is give opinions on industry plants. Like, I don't understand that. And again, it is okay to question things, it is okay to have your opinions on things, but to make it seem like you are the end all be all of information and you don't even interact with the culture that it exists in, it doesn't make sense. And I feel like that is a huge part of why we just will not be able to have regular casual discourse on hip hop. It's dead because of folks like Adin, because of coons like Cuffham, and because of artists like Doechii, because she has such a polarizing effect on the internet that nuanced perspective does not tend to exist in anymore. And I don't know why that is. I feel like it's easier to dislike her music, to not like what she's doing, but to also not hate her as a person when you don't really have any valid reason to. I don't think that's a hard thing to do. And I'm sick of us having to keep reiterating that. I'm sick of having to see people that I look up to within, hit YouTube discourse in general, like FD Signifier and Sean C. having to keep reiterating the same things. It's annoying and it's sad because we should be past this. We should be on to bigger and better things, but I feel like we keep devolving as a space. And a lot of it is the fault of the people who we keep blowing up. Well, not we, but the people outside of us keep blowing up. And it's nasty. It's really nasty. Sean C said it on his last stream that he doesn't see a next generation of people who make content based on music, that love music, that break down music. And he's right. I do feel like if I were bigger, I think I would be someone who would fit that placeholder, but I'm not someone of that stature yet. But we will get there. We'll definitely get there. It's about prioritizing the love of the art, the love of the craft, and dispelling the hate that exists around people who don't even care about it for real. It's so annoying. But yeah, that's all I had to say about it. I just want to take a break from my McKinley Dixon editing. So yeah, I'll catch you on the next one, man. Everybody on all platforms, Arab.me on Instagram. The next video will be the McKinley Dixon reaction. I'm glad to be back. Please like, please comment, and please subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed. I had to just get a few things off my chest. Sorry if it came off a little bit rambly. Yeah, I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.